Okay, so you guys are gonna get a little mad because I jumped forward just a touch. Alright, so we talked about the wings and how basically the wing membrane was basically just wiring and it went down in the housing. So I did finish up and put that section of wire down into the shaft, and then I wrapped it up. This is just a little bit of masking tape. I did build it up so that the muscle structure looks fairly, you know, accurate. And then, like I said on the last video that I updated with, we're using cellophane here to be the wing membranes. And I've got two different weights. I've got one that's 6 layers of cellophane, and then one that is, I believe it was 3 or maybe 4. So that is this back one, okay, because we gotta counterbalance this thing because it's very forward balancing. Okay, so the other thing is, that's the big shocker right here. The big shocker is that his head is all done being scaled, okay? So, except for his wings, we are done scaling. Play the victory music now. So now, we are working on his wings, okay? And just curiosity, fun, profit, let's see where he is. We are still really, really heavily weighted that way. Alright, so, but now keep in mind our center of balance is more toward the tail, and I did take a couple of coats of this artificial acrylic nail, and I did put it back here on the back of his tail and on his spines and such to give him a little bit of extra weight, because it's going to add weight without necessarily taking away texture or really anything. I probably will put a couple of coats on these back nails because I really like these back nails. Oh, and I cheated. Shh, shh. Nobody's watching this anyway, so it's not like you guys are really going to care, but originally his claws right here were what were they? Oh yeah, they were that polymer clay, and then we had the wire wrap underneath. And then we had problems with them breaking. See, let's see if I can get this one. So this toe right here is broke. See this one right here? It broke. Big freaking surprise. Alright, so, and I got frustrated. I didn't record any of it because I was sitting there troubleshooting, trying to figure out what the hell I was going to do with it. And I tried, I don't have them out here, so I tried, wait, yeah I do, they're over here. Alright, so I tried taking these really small finish nails, and then I put them in the vise, and I took my files, and I filed them down into little hooks. And then I put them down into the claws so that they would be much more stable. And then basically I figured out that I could just layer up. I am literally hooked on the camera. Alright. I figured out that I could just layer up some hot glue, and then I can layer over that. And then that would be way more stable! And it doesn't look half bad. So there's that thing with the nails. But we're doing wings. We are so doing wings. Oh, there was something else that I did while you guys were away. You know, you guys are gonna get so angry, all one of you. There's only ever one person watching this. So we got to hook his tail in here. And we're kind of working on this. If we can't get this lamp just over here just a little bit more. Yes, I'm literally using a desktop lamp to be a holder and a base for him while I do this. Okay, so this is really just that square of plastic wrap, and I'm just kind of hot gluing his little butt down here. Oops. And I do want folds to be in here. But now I'm at this point where I'm taking one edge and I'm following it out, and I've hit this point here, and I have all this extra. And I know I'm going to have extra, but it's the matter of where do I want, like, the dips like this. So it's whether or not we want to, and we have to kind of reinforce the bones in here. And that's going to reinforce our wing shape. And believe it or not, these wings are really not giving me as much weight as I was hoping, so, you know, maybe we'll have to take this and just tip it off the back, but keep in mind I can't really put it on the ends of these wings because it's going to cause the back of them to droop, because it's going to add weight where I don't want weight. Okay, so the shape of wings. The reason that this is a debate is because a dragon wing typically goes like this with its bones, and then it'll go whoop, whoop, and whoop. Okay, and then you have these smartasses that go, well, that can't be right because that doesn't give it enough lift across its body because the wings are way up by the shoulder and it has so much behind its shoulder, like its rear end and its tail, that it wouldn't have enough for lift. This is a bat wing, it wouldn't have enough lift. So then you had these people that created bat wings that went like, or dragon wings that went like this, and like this, and then came way back. So here's your primary bone with its like wing, and then here, and then here. Okay, that is a glider. That's a glider wing. It can't fly with that because then it takes its whole damn fucking body up. Okay, so then, if you watch Harry Potter, the dragon that is parked on top of Gringotts, okay, has this shaped wing. So I don't know if they're trying to get away from that or what. So I'm kind of like a marriage between the two of them because honestly I think this is just a little bit ridiculous because there's not enough lift back here. So that's why it's a debate. So I have material that goes all the way back here. And I don't really want all that material back here. Because I do have this whole side scaled out. So I will probably compromise and give it like to the end of the rib cage, theoretically. Hey guys! So we are on April 14th, 2018. So with our little Great Lakes Dragon here, this is probably in the same episode, but we're going to recap again because this is a different day. We've got our cellophane on our wings, and again, because we're making them semi-transparent, little translucence going on here, so you'll be able to see the veining and all of this extra crinkliness. It's going to help. We have like 5 or 6 layers on this wing. On the back wing, we have 3 layers on the front wing. Clearly, these 2 wings don't look the same because this one's heavier and thicker and has more veining to it. When you're looking at it top to bottom, you're not really going to tell. The other thing is the face is all scaled out. Little hair here. Okay. We do need to reinforce these very small scales on the ridge of his face with a little acrylic so that they stay intact. That, of course, is going to add extra weight. I may have to do that sooner than later because this one scale doesn't want to stay up and it bothers me. Okay. Counterbalance to that is taking some of our acrylic reinforcer and reinforcing the tail, which adds counter weight to it. Gotta love a nice long tail. Alright, so we've got our wings, and if you've not been keeping up, this is the recap. So this was not scaled at all, this was raw foam. Went in there with the post. Of course, these are wire-based wings, so we have a little bit of mobility. Put the post in there, wrap it with floral tape to build up the muscle structure, attach our wing membrane, glue it in place, and now we're finishing the scaling on that. No! All the way around and underneath. Okay. Little continuity errors. Sure, there will be some. I'm sure somebody will take this and rip it apart. Okay. But again, just like we were with the rest of the dragon's body, feet, body, tail, the whole 9 yards, we're going in with scales. You lay them in just like 3-dimensional shingles so you can have this effect. I love this for storytelling. And just like on the bottom of here, where some of these scales are legitimately teardrops because we've got a very acute point here, and we need to slowly fade these scales out. At some point we're going to go from bands of scales like these down to single scales. Got a couple of those right here. Part of the argument, part of the motivation that I've been having trouble with on this thing is I'm putting in all these details now that I'm going to be looking for when I'm looking at a dragon. But if you're not looking for it, you're not going to see it, and people are probably not going to be looking for it, and they're not going to appreciate the extra 4 or 5 hours that I'm spending on that. Then we're going to go into final painting, because this is rough painting. Notice that his front claws are the same part of his same color as his regular claws. In fact, this one needs to get sharpened. And then these ones back here aren't even painting at all. So we have to really clean this up because I really want his back claws and all of his claws to really mirror like this claw right here and have a really nice kind of a scary profile. We've done it! It lives! Okay, I really wasn't expecting this to be as easy as it was. So I got 4 pieces of wood. This is like a 1x4 piece of wood. And then I just cut it down. And I got a little bit of sanding to do left on it. But that's really all it is. And I screwed it down into our 3/4 pressboard base. And then it's screwed into itself. So there's a little bit of sanding that has to happen, and then we got some wood putty. And then this little bugger took me by surprise. Like, I was expecting to figure out where I was going to have to heartbreakingly destroy his mount by having to drill into his person in order to get him to actually sit up in this tree and look all airborne. But turns out that the driftwood has got just enough tension to bend and give, and so between these two, which are really very movable and far more movable than his limbs, they create just enough tension, and there's a little bit of a stick out here where I can put him down in there and he sits comfortably. So victory! Oh my god, I can't believe this is almost done. Yes, I'm really super stoked. So now we have a few little minor things. There is like a really tiny gap around the base, between the base and the board. And we gotta fill that in. Fine little minor points on this dragon I just want to touch up before I send him out for final viewing. Like the tips of the wings. There's some points in the claws that need to get painted. And then I'm having a real debate about whether or not I want to take some kind of like a brassy or maybe a bluish kind of fine glitter and put it down on this nest. That's a debate I'm still having. Oh, and then there's some other thing, and I should have done this when I did the base, but I didn't because I didn't even know if this was going to work. And that is, I need to get some felt footies on this thing so when I put it down somewhere it doesn't scratch the surface. So that's what we're going to do, and then it's going to be all done, and then we're going to take it to the restaurant, and then we're going to display it at the restaurant for 2 weeks, and then he's going to go to the SVA and he's going to go for sale. So I'm really excited. Oh my god, it's almost done, guys.